Amazon forest.
Those orange birds up there.
Oh my god. Wild elephants.
Okay, so we are now currently tucking into a lovely ice cream, courtesy of the ice cream van just around the corner here in the zoo.
It's ice cream.
I don't manage in today's video, I thought I'd talk about what it's like running in America versus in the UK. And this isn't just involve like in the major cities in America, but also sort of like in the countryside, both in the UK and in the US. So first off, kind of the biggest difference between running in America versus the UK is generally the surfaces that you'll be running on. America's roads are a lot more kind of concrete based, very, very hard. Whilst roads in the UK are a little bit softer. They're still hard, it's still a hard surface, but the tarmac that we use in the UK is a lot softer than the concrete here in the US. And you do feel that more for your joints and for your knees. So next up, let's kind of talk about the differences between kind of the countryside in the UK versus the countryside in the US. So where your parents are living in Maryland, it's a very rural area. Well, I live in Hollywood, not Hollywood in LA. That's completely different. That's the biggest, one of the biggest city areas in the world. But Hollywood in Maryland is a very, very
Southern
small,
Maryland.
Yeah, Southern Maryland, very, very small area, and there's not really many roads nearby, and any roads that are just kind of very concrete and very busy with lots of cars. So it makes it harder to run in general because you're having great, big, massive American cars coming past you.
Trucks.
And trucks, yeah, passing you with like, or giving you like a few inches of space as they pass. It's quite scary. And yeah, it doesn't make for a pleasant running experience at all. But meanwhile in the UK where I live, there's lots and lots of country roads, there's lots and lots of country paths, and
Yeah,
traffic's a lot
footpaths.
busier, well not busier, a lot less busy, and there's just more footpaths available, and you know, everything's also so much closer into the UK, so that I could run, go out for a maybe 12-mile run and I will get into in the next town over on that run. Do you have anything to add, Trish?
Yeah, I mean, very true with just the closest. You have a more variety in routes too. For example, where my parents are living, we kind of run the same neighborhood route almost every day we've been here. We've only been here for about a little over a week, but still, while visiting at your place last year, you just have a lot of the different footpaths. You also don't need to drive to go or drive very far to go to different running routes here. But I've noticed in the rural countryside, you kind of need to just drive to your nearest park, and that, you know, sometimes you just want to go out and just go straight on your run and not having to worry about driving anywhere in the first place. But yeah.
You know, I completely agree with that as I'm munching on this chocolate ice cream. Meanwhile, when kind of running in like the cities, it's kind of a different story entirely. So here we are in DC. There's actually quite a lot of running paths around, and actually in Georgetown area there's this really nice canal that we've run on a couple of times, and did a race there actually last year. That's just it's kind of like a gravel cinder track style track, and it goes on for miles and miles. And there's just loads more running routes available, and it's a lot more friendly because there's a lot of footpaths and sidewalks for you Americans, and a lot of, or as in the UK we call them pavements. Pavements are very substantial, they're very wide, so even when they do get busy, you can pass loads of people. Meanwhile, in the UK, you have to be very careful where you run in a city, because if you choose a very, very busy time, so like when I was in York, if I went anywhere close to downtown, particularly towards Christmas or on a weekend, it would be absolutely horrible. I'd be people dodging left, right and centre. In America, like when I was over in San Francisco is completely different from any other city I've been to, and it has a lot of running routes nearby. It's probably the best city I've ever been to in terms of running. And yeah, there's so many running routes. So you've got hills, you've got trails, you've got everything. It's all nearby. It's all runnable. Other cities like LA, when I've been to LA's not as good. LA's just mostly a concrete jungle. I mean, you've got experience now in Texas. You'll be getting El Paso next couple of years. And what's that like with you?
Well, El Paso's a desert, so there's definitely a lot of sand. I haven't really been running outside. I've only been there for like 3 days.
You've also been to Vegas too.
Yeah, but it's Vegas running is definitely different than in El Paso. But yeah, so far in El Paso, I mean, they have a lot of sandstorms, so I'll probably schedule my runs earlier in the morning before work. But yeah, in Vegas at least, it's more bearable. It's dry heat there, so I mean, it still gets up to like 100 degrees in the summer, or 100 plus. But still, it's not that bad when you go early in the morning because it's not that hot. Sun's still getting ready to rise. But
that's another thing, like the temperature.
Yeah,
temperature in the States, especially in the summer, across most places, it can get like really hot.
Inhuman.
American terms, it's like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or here in the UK, that's about like 38 degrees Celsius. We very rarely, if at all, get that weather in the UK. We very rarely get above 30 degrees Celsius. But most places in America, particularly on the south and on the east coast, will get 30 degrees Celsius most days in the summer when it's not a stormy day.
Need the cone.
Yeah. Equally, on the other side of that, in the winter, it gets very, very cold in the US depending on where you live, particularly in like the east and the north states. You will have lots of snow. It will be very cold, very icy, so running can be a little bit harder. Whilst in the UK, it's very, very rarely can you get a really bad snow days or be really icy underfoot, where you just physically can't run. We do tend to get a bit more mild weather, but even when it is cold and it is icy underfoot, it's not excruciatingly unbearably cold, where you don't really get below -5 degrees Celsius, whilst in the States I'll get to like -20 degrees Celsius in a lot of places. But in California it's completely different. San Francisco's pretty much got every day the climate's between like 5 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius year round.
Amazing.
So it makes it very, very ideal for running. You literally just go out in shorts and t-shirts every day and you'll be fine. Next up is the club scene in America versus the UK. The running clubs, not the dance club. But although saying that, running clubs are starting to become more like dance clubs these days. But yeah, so running clubs in the UK. So running clubs, you have your local athletics clubs and you also have your general running clubs. But there's loads of them. And I mean, just nearby me, I think there's probably about 20 within like just the nearby towns and areas.
Wow.
There's loads of running clubs, and I go to my local athletics club, Newark AC, and I have lots of competitions available for me that I can do pretty much every weekend. They are club-based, and so you kind of have some are league-based, so it can be road summer leagues in the summer. You also have cross-country leagues in the winter. I also have track leagues also in the summer. But it's basically there's races I can do all year round, and the races are all pretty close together. You don't kind of get that in the States. I mean, you're part of the run club at USF.
Yeah, it's definitely more casual, more of a social scene. I mean, we did do some races during the cross-country season, but it's not really for competition, mainly people who haven't had experience and just want to improve on their times, or kind of just want to experience what racing or what a race-like environment is. I mean, some people in the club did run during probably like high school cross-country and track, but never really got into the serious collegiate level. More of having running as a hobby or just like a lifestyle. But a lot of clubs or running clubs in SF, for example, there's a lot of running clubs there, and most people use it as just like a social hangout, or people also use it as just a means to train for their next race. But
what I've found is like unless you're in like a major city, you can't really have you don't have a run club nearby, even training partners.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless there's anyone specifically you know. And outside of kind of if you're like in the NCAA, the NCAA is a far better system than the books in terms of really developing you as an athlete. I mean, my times will just speak for themselves. When before I moved out to the States, my 10K best was 30:55, and in a year it's down to 29:20. So actually, it wasn't even a year; it was within 6 months. But granted, I may have had some fitness that we'd really brought out in the States. But the standard in the NCAA is so much better than it is in the universities in the UK, and the support you get is so much better too. But as soon as you get outside that system, it's much harder for you, unless you go professional in the States, to kind of really get the best out of you in running, because you just don't have the level of competition, the number of frequency of races, and the training partners nearby, unless you're in some sort of major towns or cities which have really good training gyms out there. Next up, and I think this is probably the main thing that keeps the UK population slightly healthier, only just, than the American population as a whole. And that is the number and availability of parkruns. Parkrun is just a weekly 5K running event just round a local park. And in the UK we have so many parks, and there's pretty much parkrun in every town or city in the UK. Even in some of the rural areas there are loads of parkruns. So not really too far from a park in the UK. And there's loads of people who turn up on Saturday morning, every Saturday, just go out there, walk, run, just a 5K around the park, which is so great as a population, because really the more active you are, particularly as you get older, the healthier your lifestyle you're going to live. But in the US, there are very, very few parkruns, and there's so little that, unless you're in basically a major city, and even then you're not guaranteed there will be a parkrun nearby. There's not really any availability for anyone to just go out there and just enjoy being outside and being active and just doing a 5K run. And I think that lack of that availability there really does have a thing, because how many people are gonna message their neighbour and just say, hey, do you want to go out and run at 5K? Not many people do that in the UK, unless your neighbour is also your best friend and fellow distance runner. It just doesn't happen. I think that's one thing that, as a country in the UK, we do really well. Parkrun is everything it means to be British, and grabbing a cup of tea afterwards is everything it means to be British. And you enjoyed doing parkrun?
Oh no, I love park runs. I mean, yeah, if we you finish that. I mean, yeah, that's the main thing. I think it's just the British running culture in general is just so big. I mean, it doesn't even matter what level you are. All you have to do is just go to your local park and just run it. And it's very no pressure. A lot of people just do it for fun, and that's how it should be. I mean, in the end of the day, that's how running should be. I mean, definitely if you're not on the elite level, it should be very casual.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely, once in a while you want to challenge and better yourself through races, but at the same time too, park run, getting racing with other people around the course is also a great way of just getting into the running culture. And hopefully in the US we do incorporate that more. I mean, the nearest park run in my family's area is about a 45-minute drive away, so that isn't really.
Where was that?
It's in Annapolis.
Oh.
And so we're definitely in a running boom right now among social media, so hopefully we include that more in the US in general.
But yeah, that's all we had to say today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. We'll probably do our top 5 favourite pieces of summer running gear in the next coming days, before you head to Texas and I head back to the UK. So our short-lived holiday here in Maryland comes to an end. But yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.
Like and subscribe. Bye.